Hi there, and welcome back to the show. In this episode, I'm talking with Jacobi de Villiers, opera singer, music teacher, and as she puts it, someone with many creative hustles. Jacobi has been a creative inspiration in my life, and this conversation was pure joy. We talk about building the right kind of support team around you, navigating disappointment without losing momentum, and how to sustain multiple creative practices. I hope you enjoy the episode. Hi, Jacobi. Thanks for being on the podcast. It's so lovely to see you.
It's so lovely to be here. Thank you, Lizanne. I'm very happy to be here.
Oh,
Honored.
oh, I look forward to our conversation. So, Jacobi, before we start, can you please introduce yourself? You do so many different things, so please share what it is that you do.
My name is Jacobi de Villiers. I like to think of myself as a opera singer, but not so much anymore. As long as I can sing and perform wherever these days, I'm pretty much very happy because I actually studied a mixture of cabaret and opera in my life. So living in South Africa, it comes with its challenges. So I teach, of course, and that sort of developed into teaching kids and teaching babies. Big love for children, big love for children's music, and the whole imagination that comes with that, and pretend and play. So I teach music, I teach singing, obviously, to kiddos who wants to sing as and take singing as the instrument. And that's probably the main thing I will classify myself as. And then I also hustle a bit, have a few hustles on the side. The one is Jakop. That's a little business that has been going on for 6 years and has now significantly exploded, and it's all kind of things that we create. And I think there's always been a little bit of an entrepreneurial stripe, what do you call that,
Mhm.
in me. And that's part of my creative expression and just to
Mhm.
create. I love for fashion, love for this. So it's all these combined passions. But I think that's the main thing, the performance, the teaching, the creating objects, and have I mentioned everything? I think so. And then, of course, I run a few workshops and I run a few singing, vocal. That's the main thing. So casting, going for this art casting, going for that art casting. That has been taking a bit of my time lately, and I have been getting a few, so that's been exciting. That's like playing
Mhm.
the lottery in real life.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Jacobi. That's so wonderful. I mean, you've got all these different angles and different facets to who you are as a person. And something I ask on this podcast is, did you always see yourself as a creative? Or was there a moment where you realized that, you're a creative? How did that work for you?
Oh, I mean, for me, there was never like anything else. Since a young age, I wanted to become a Hollywood actress, and I was like, I just had all these dreams. I live in the clouds, so I've never really, and the sky is my limit, and there was really like a limit to my dreams. So, and even from a young age, I went to markets and I would like bead little necklaces, and I would sit at markets and I would like sell my little things that and I've always been to secondhand markets, and I would sell my little belongings. So, from a young age,
Mm.
I used to work in
Mm.
a soap shop, and I love that, like cutting the soaps and like selling soaps. That was my first little retail job, working in a soap shop there in Belgium. Luckily, I'm the fourth of four children. So I think my parents, by the time I went to university, they were just like, you can do whatever you want to do. You just go, you just do you. And I think they were kind of sick of telling my brothers, no, they can't go and study drama and they can't do this. And I was the one who was just like, what I
Go
want.
for it.
I was the lucky.
Wow. Wow. Mm-hmm. And so did you grow up in quite a creative family? It sounds like your upbringing shaped also who you are today.
Yes, definitely. I mean, my dad's a doctor. My mom's she was always a teacher, but then she had 4 kids, so there wasn't. I think she stopped teaching, but she was like an art teacher and a choir teacher, so it was always in her as well. And she also wanted to do drama. She'd tell me how she wanted to study drama, but her parents, I mean, it was that time where you can't go and study drama. You have to be a teacher or a doctor or this or that. So it's definitely there. And my brothers, they were both serious actors, Toastmasters, just a lot of personality, a lot of public relation in them. So yeah, it's definitely there. It's definitely a big part of who we are, and just we're a very big performance, laugh, comedy show family. Definitely. Christmas, we all perform in the Christmas. Doesn't matter if we're like 45 years old. We all perform in the Christmas play. We all put our towels over our head. Oh, well, even though there's a whole gang of little ones now joining, we take the lead. Take the lead.
And so you bring in this topic of motherhood, with your own mom, and now you're a mom as well. How is that shaped the trajectory of all these different things that you're busy with?
I think one of the biggest things was obviously the kiddies music that they installed in me. I think there was always this little dream that I wanted to be like a Barney one day kind of figure in children's lives. I just didn't know exactly what I'm going to become. But with my kids, there's been a lot of songs that we have, that we've created together about many things. If it's whether it's toothbrush or whether it's this or whether it's that, we just make up songs as we go, and I see what they're into, and with that I use as my themes. If it's dinosaurs, I can use that as themes and stuff. So except for that, for the performance and the teaching side, um, performance side, not stressing about little things anymore, and having much less time to prepare, and being much more productive and quicker in that. And I don't stress about little things, and I take on a lot. I think my capacity has really enlarged in a way. And then the creative side with my little other Jakop things that I do. I think once Rake was born, that's my baby, but my second who's now 6 years old, I started with this business. So it was about the time he was born, and it was 2020. So except for the fact that everyone else also kind of joined me in maternity leave, that was really a time when I started with this baby project, and he's now 6 years old. And yeah, it was something that I really enjoyed doing in maternity leave. It's like there was a lot of nights that I won't be sleeping, and I would just be awake and stitching or whatever. So that's where that kind of started developing. And I do think my capacity just went. Yeah.
That's so interesting to hear you say that your, becoming a mother actually increased your capacity, both in terms of how you, not worry about the little things, and you started this new project while being on maternity leave. That's really fascinating. What do you think? What is it about being a mother that increased your capacity?
Maybe it's them. Maybe it's just like they holding all this space, and being very much more energized, being much more propelled to movement. Maybe it's just the inspiration that your kids give you. Maybe it's yeah, I think there's a lot. Holding all these hearts, and you're like propelled to do something, and you're just like,
Hmm.
time is so sacred and small. So yeah, or you just move. I think I maybe just gave me more life, purpose, more everything.
And now with time being so sacred, are you very conscious in terms of how you allocate time, the kind of projects that you say yes to, the things that you say no to? Is that a conscious decision, or is it something that you do very intuitively?
Also very intuitively, but also conscious. I mean, if something doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
I always said like my life happens and one door closes, another opens kind of thing. It's very, I take it as it comes, go with the flow kind of thing. But I did realize I had a lot of students I taught at some stage. It was about not last year, the year before that. So my performance has also increased, and to that extent that I would get to a performance the next day and I realized I just didn't have enough time to prepare. And that's okay because I have the night and I have, you have like a little bit of time with that you can make the most of. But I did realize at a stage that I have to, some things go on for like years and you don't real, you just imagine this is it, this is a routine, this is how things are going to go. You don't really see it into it. But for a while,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of felt like, okay, I think somewhere soon this is the end of the road because there's also a lot of other stuff which I didn't know at that time that I wanted to see manifest into something more and like performing more. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was a definite choice of conscious choice, saying goodbye to one thing and make space for new things. Even if you
Mm-hmm.
can't name it and you can't like exactly pinpoint at that given time what it is, but you just have this very big instinct hunch. It's like it's in the water of your belly. Who knows? But you just have a feel, and I had that feeling for a
Mm-hmm.
while. So even though money is good sometimes for something, you just have to take a little bit of a. It is that cliche, a little bit of a like leapy.
That's so interesting, and I think that's something that I often hear on this podcast in conversations is being in tune with what resonates with you, and trusting your gut. You actually describe that sort of that gut feeling, that thing that's just there. You feel it in your body.
Mm.
And what helps you to remain in tune with that, in touch with that, while you're busy, your life seems really busy. So how do you make sure that you stay connected with that part of you that helps you make decisions?
Um, I think it's easy to ignore it and just to be very busy and just to, yeah, before you know it, another year's gone. But yeah, it's easy to stay stuck. Sometimes you need to go. And for me, this was definitely what I do. I don't have time. I used to journal a lot. And I think if I didn't journal, I would have forgotten all those days in my life and epic memories and stuff because I haven't been journaling at all since I had kids. And I can't, it's a bit of a mingle moose. It's a bit
Mm,
of a blur. It's a complete blur. So everything is like I can't exactly. This was this and this was then and this was so the years are all sort of flowing into each other. So I wish there was more time of that, but I do. Yeah, I do exercise. I do CrossFit a lot, and that really helps me. That's the only time that I really would say I try to get to religiously is my CrossFit and going to church.
mm,
That's the one place I do journal. That's actually on Sunday. I do find weekly that I can say thank you for a few things and I can write a little of a vision board that I have for what's coming up. I just keep, and it's always nice to look, at least I can weekly look back at a weekly journal. I've had this one journal for 4 years now in church. And at least I have that. Otherwise, I would have no kind of timeline. So that helps, and the CrossFit, and then obviously time, your time. You see where your time goes, what encourages you, what doesn't, what like sucks you dry. No, not really, but I mean, encourages you, who encourages you, what feels like energize you, and that's time with friends and family and your kids. That's a big time.
okay, so yes, I'm hearing the physical exercise, the movement, and then
Mm,
also
mm,
being in church creates that bit of quiet space, quiet time, little bit of time for reflection, and the fact
Mm.
that you're able to do it on a weekly basis. There's this nice rhythm to it. And you also mention connection, friends and family, community. What's important to you about connection?
Yeah. Well, otherwise we're all like ships sailing like past each other. Um, I think it's what makes us human is connecting, and then uh, it's just like sharing what you're experiencing, sharing your art, like sharing your turmoil, sharing whatever you're going through, sharing your tears lately, or sharing what you're not crying about, sharing your joy. So if you don't connect, like you just keep all of this, and it's so amazing sometimes to just have a little trade of words and thoughts and ideas, and inspiration comes from that. And yeah, there's a few people
Mm.
that they really energize me, they really encourage me, and so if I haven't seen those friends or people in my life, then I also feel like a disconnect. So it's definitely something that plants you, that grounds you as a human. So for me, I definitely need to bounce ideas, or will this work or won't this work? I've got this idea. Do I run with it? I've got a lot of ideas all the time, so I definitely
Mm.
need to.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I can hear that also in your story, all these new ideas. So how do you balance the joy of new ideas and new creative projects with looking after the projects that you have already, and perhaps the less fun bit of being a business owner, the admin, the spreadsheets. How do you balance that?
So for me, there's been last year was a good year, and my one friend Emma, she has this thing that she did on New Year's. She said, "What's your high? What's your low? What's your buffalo?" With the kids, just because it rhymes, and I thought that's awesome. I'm gonna do that too. And as it was my turn, I realized all my highs were the people that I met during the year, and they were connections to other things. And it was just very, very cardinal, those little connections in my life. Those were the highlights of my year. Because this happened, and this happened, and this happened with it. So the one little high was meeting a friend that actually became one of my new business partners, which sort of very spontaneously, it just happened. I did a one market, and she said, can she make a few jackets? And it was just divine timing. And she entered, and what I was running that time also fitted into her life, and it gave her a platform to also express herself, her creative
Mm.
side. So, and it just clicked. It just clicked. It was just like a divine little moment in time, and she made a few things, jackets that I added to my market. That time, that was in September, and then the rest was also history from there. So that made the fact that I could do admin and just run the socials and run this and run that so much easier. It's like I actually longed for a partner my whole life with this little business, in this little business life. Because two is just so much easier, and it gives me much more freedom to handle that and quickly, you know, um, finish off all the admin or stay on top of it at least. Because when you're one
Mhm.
woman, oh, the load does become kind of big and deep and overwhelming.
Mhm.
So it definitely, that was a very big thing. So now I do it with a smile. I must say I'm not the best with. I'll rather pay someone to take care of the tax, or do this or do that.
I think that's so important, Jacobi, like realizing where where there's opportunity to delegate work so that you can focus on your strengths and the things that bring you joy, the things that energize you. You alluded to what those things are. Um, and it's so interesting to hear the backstory, because I obviously follow you on social media, and I saw the beautiful photo shoot you had. I think it was at Bakoven with the
Mm,
jacket, and
yes,
I just
yes,
thought, it's this beautiful, beautiful product.
yeah.
So it's so
And it
interesting to
flows from
hear,
the
yeah, how it
things.
came about.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And then what else did I want to say? Tell you now. Oh, then my whole dream was sure. It's been a dream to obviously be part of this big market we have here in South Africa called Commerce. And then in December, I got a little email saying, no, we can. They're giving me, a small, so much square meters and da 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 da. So, I mean, after like many unsuccessful applications, that's also been like, another little manifestation of a trail of unsuccessfulness, and then you get that email when you least expect it, and that's also a little, thank you note from you for sort of persevering and not giving up. You never know around what corner the next little dream will lie. So the delegation now, I've got like a few more people. So I just delegate, and I'm like, this is your portfolio. This is your portfolio. There's other people who can do it with so much more ease and joy and effortless, and they
Mm,
just, they do it, with their eyes closed. There's so many people out there who,
mm,
it fits or it suits something like this. So you find those people, find your people, and you give them
mhm.
a little portfolio. That's I've always been good at delegation. And you do
That's
this for me,
amazing.
a little egg bag or bird bag, and they're like laugh, and they're like,
Yes.
oh, let's do it. Yeah.
Yes, because I wanted to ask you about the bird bag because I see it popping up everywhere, and my very good friend Alzan, I briefly saw her when I was in South Africa in Cape Town over December, and she told me that she bought a bird bag, and so she's so excited about it. So what's the story behind it? How did you come up with the idea?
I think like you say, we follow people on social media, and we follow the people I follow. The same ideas pop up. Even within Pinterest, which is full of ideas, you look for ideas because I do print my own fabric and so on, or I get the designer to design it for me, and we print it. And this is obviously what I'm going to work with, what I'm going to commerce with, because it's part of my main brand story is like creating the prints of Cape Town, like vibrance, joy, playfulness. So I'm always on the lookout, and it's like a little rabbit hole. So the one person you follow, and then next things pop up on your screen or whatever. So there's been a trend of handbaggies for a while. Like I wanted to make a banana bag for a while, and I wanted to make a little there's this a cockatoo. I don't know how you say it, but there's and then a fish, and you see, you get all kinds of patterns. So it's a really like a rabbit hole of thing that you can go down, and you can discover all these patterns online. So that's how that one started. But I mean, even though I started with many others since then, it's weird how this one little inky sucky really got everybody's attention. Even though there's chickens and there's eggs and there's bananas these days, everybody's like, is there any more inkies? The inky is the little celeb. So I don't
That's
know. I obviously
amazing.
have time to post a lot about it. So I don't know. Maybe that is the moment or the flavor of the month. But it was just it was just kind of let's do this. This is possible. Let's try this. It's you play around. You have to
Mm,
experiment. You have to have time and a little bit of yeah. Now we don't have time. Now we're
mm,
just working, and we're just going because we're working towards the 3rd of March. But sometimes you have time and you play and you create and you see what goes well. And sometimes it's a bit of we also make this very nice beach bank. But at the moment we're parking him. We're making a tablecloth. At the moment we're parking that table. So there's a few ideas that you can't work with everything. You can't develop everything. You park them, you see, lot of potential, but it's not 100% your 100% fits in your brand, and it needs a bit of work. Some things just fly, and so it takes some things take longer than others. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, so there's this theme almost of seasons, that there's certain seasons that allow for a little bit more play and exploration, and then there's a season of grafting and having a deadline and being able to get things done on time.
Yes,
And I
yes,
think it
yes.
helps to be conscious of which season are you in at the moment.
Um, hmm, what is it? Summer. No, I do think it is a very. I do think I'm picking a lot of fruit, a lot of.
Mhm.
You're very much in what do we call it in English? Oes season.
Yeah, harvest. You're in harvesting season.
Yeah, it feels like
Mm.
I'm really really plucking the fruit of lots of ideas and thoughts and labor and lots of like I tell you, perseverance, just of keeping on. Lots of dreams that were kind of in the pipeline for many years and just quietly just sort of
Mm.
with a little hammer key picking away at those. Now I'm
Mhm.
really, it's a wonderful season. The first time in my life I took out a bank loan. I never do that in my life, like ever.
Mm.
So I'm really, everybody's like, don't just think you're doing this for this thing. You have to think of it as a little bit of an investment in your business. So for the first time in my life, I am able to pay people and to buy things
Mm.
and to buy, or like design meters and meters of fabric, get it printed because we have zero stock. We make as we go, so we need to build up some stock. You also shouldn't set yourself up for financial ruin and like crazy stress. This is like all within
Mm.
within borders, boundaries. Yeah, you don't want to set yourself up for so much. It's just like small, but it's also much bigger than I ever had in my life. So it's also a little bit of a
Mm.
risk, but you need to. Yeah, it's
Mm. Yeah, it sounds like
hopefully
the timing is right, and in some way you've also built your capacity for where you are now. The fact that you've got this team, you can delegate, you're taking on bigger projects. And so there's been some time to in some way grow with the business.
yes, exactly. And when I look back, I almost had a fright. Like you always think, oh, it's only been this many years or this many years, and it's been much longer than I always realized. It's been, it's
Mm.
been a minute, and but you stayed with it, and I was never so convinced to leave it. To leave it, like you kind of keep it alive, sometimes barely, but it was always there.
That's amazing, Jacobi. So I want to ask you, obviously we're talking, I'm having this conversation with you in this season where you're reaping the
Being very
being persistent and doing the work. How do you cope with disappointment? So there's also been perhaps disappointment along the way, or you mentioned applying for things and not always getting in. How did you cope with that, a few years back? Now you're in a different season.
how you cope with that. I don't think I've ever had the answer. I get that so much though. I wish I can print. I should actually make posts of all my unsuccessful applications and all my unsuccessful editions. It's all kind of the same. It almost becomes like a pattern, and you're like, ugh, again, ugh. You just roll your eyes into the heavens, and you're just like you feel gutted. I mean, it's an awful feeling. You feel rejected, but everybody always says, "Oh, you just need a thick skin. You just need a blah, 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 blah." And oh, failure, failure, failure. You need failures to at least be able to taste like. What did they say? What's that one quote? I even posted it the other day. Taste, to be able to taste like how a little bit of success feels, or whatever. But
Mm.
the thing is, no, I don't know. I've never had a very good rapport. What do you say with gatekeepers? For me, like my ideas aren't always
Mm.
gatekeepers are very much what the audience wants, what the people
Mhm.
that's going to attend a certain thing wants. So my ideas are usually not the gatekeepers, the person that allows you somewhere in. It's not the perfect idea. It's not the perfect, and you kind of have to, if it doesn't fit in your life, maybe it's not, or you don't fit in theirs, it's not for you. And you kind of just have to make peace with that. And then at least one day when it comes to that point where, it does happen, then everything was aligned and it is as it should be.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
No, you shouldn't chase perfection. You should chase
Mm.
presence, like because all my things, and same with auditions, and same with what I create, it's very me. It's very personality. It's very like even your voice. It's very. It's hard to remove that or detach that from you. That's also something I had to learn over the years. So not to take that personal. It's a taste. It's kind of a taste. So, once you do fit inside the gates or whatever on the other side of the gates, then then you should say, okay, now this is the, the right time, or this is as it should be, or this is how it was supposed to be. And that taste is also finally kind of worth it in the end. Does it make sense? I guess you won't appreciate it if you didn't have that. If you didn't like, it just came easily and immediate and so on.
Mm. Mhm.
So it's definitely a long journey.
Mm.
Mm.
I think the essence of who you are as a person comes through in your work, Jacobi, whether that's the work that you do with Jakop or it's your
Yeah,
singing. And I think it's this
yeah,
dealing with failure or disappointment is this challenging thing because you want to remain true to that essence. You don't want to change it. You want to remain authentic. And then at the same time having to
exactly.
handle and cope with the disappointment without knowing when the success will come. You don't, at that point, you don't know. And obviously now you can look back and you can say, the journey has been worth it. But I think
Yeah,
when you're in it, it's really tough.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. No, and you also realize, there's been stuff that you weren't ready for. You think you're ready, but you're not ready. You're not ready, and that you can also only see when you look back and think, oh. But so stuff does happen when you're more ready than you think you are. When you're more ready.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And also, there's a lot of feedback along the way. So sometimes it's good to implement that feedback. Use it, don't use it. Use the stuff that makes sense to you. Lose the stuff that you think, okay, you can actually go without. And so,
Mm-hmm.
say for this one, for my Jakop business, um, there was a lady who said, you're a little bit all over the place, like use this and this and this and build your story around that. I'm struggling to see your story. So I went with
Okay.
this little
Mm-hmm.
reference, which was my fabrics. It's not go and buy any fabric that you fall in love with, which was very hard for me because that's what I usually did. I go around looking at fabrics and I buy this and it's all different colors. So start with a palette, like look at your fabrics that you have and get a palette out of that, which my designer Amelia helped me with. And like we created a little umbrella for everything to be underneath and created the brand story and just sort of connecting it to that's your signature. So that also helps, like taking it back, like building little blocks, using it, and then building it around that. So that you are that you can be recognized as. You're not just sort of all over the place, someone not struggling to figure out what's going on here, what are you making, what are you selling, what are you creating. Which is hard. It's hard to trim down and like sift and filter and but yeah, definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. That's also like a snowy season that I was in.
I think there's this golden thread of building the right kind of team around you. You know, people that you can trust, people who have your best interest at heart, who believes in who you are, your product, you know, what you have to offer, and are able to offer guidance and support and feedback as well.
Absolutely. You see that with the best people. I mean, I used to sing for William Kentridge at one stage, and he only works with his costume designer, his set designer, he's composer. He only has his little team. And I was wondering, that was the first time, that was like 2013, many years ago. Like, why does he always work with the same people? And it's absolutely, like you say, it's starting with me too. Like, I have this go to person, this go to person. And I'm like, that's my recipe for success. But yeah, to find those people is amazing.
So Jacobi, we've spoken about so many things, and you've offered so many nuggets of wisdom that I think a lot of people could resonate with, regardless of the season that they find themselves in. Is there anything else that you would add? You know, if there's someone listening to this episode who are finding themselves perhaps in not in the harvesting, reaping season, but perhaps in the building, you know, figuring out space, and they perhaps don't have that kind of team of support yet. What kind of advice would you offer to a younger version of yourself, perhaps?
I think people need to, it's hard to do it alone. That's the one thing. But it was always hard for me also to find a partner. You can't just find a partner. It's really, these things are really very sort of very universe, God given, everything in between. Those kind of cardinal things that happen, serendipity. It's but you really need like it's wonderful to it's hard to run the ship by yourself. So but as long as you need to and just open your heart, open your space, just open your peripheral vision for anybody that you perhaps reach out to everybody and anybody and just collab um and then don't be scared to make a post and just ask in your stories for you need this or you need a sew someone who can sew for you or you need this. There's so many people out there that would love to get involved in something and sometimes they're looking for that exact post that you're about to give out. So yeah, just I think that's a big thing. Reach out and don't try to do it by yourself. Try to see if there's something that could organically develop, like with someone, because two is better than one. And what other advice? Obviously, the don't give up advice. It's hard advice to give, but it's kind of just more persevere. Like persevere is my password for anything, but I'm with a few friends and a few. It's been that forever, perseverance, and it is kind of the secret ingredient to anything. It's easy to not persevere. It's easy to, but then the thing is not important. So yeah, because you really don't know around what corner something big might happen, or something is waiting, or there's a divine connection of something you need. So yeah, that's a big thing. Perseverance is a key ingredient. And it's hard, especially when people close to you really love you. They don't believe in what you're investing your time in or what for a dream of yours. They feel it's a waste of time, it's a waste of energy. And then you still continue with it. I mean, it's not fun, it's hard, and you are starting to second guess yourself. But, that can flip quickly. Sometimes things, and that's things can change in the blink of an eye, in the blink of an eye. So
Mm.
don't think this is forever, or it's really change happens like this. So don't think you are stuck in a certain pattern of the way things are. It's really nothing is forever. It can happen, change can come very quickly. You know what I'm trying to say about that? Just to say that nothing is, just be open for whatever can happen, miracles, etc.
Mm. Yeah, that openness I think is so important. I have one more question, Jacobi, and I think that has to do with your group of friends, your girlfriends. I know that you're part of a group of friends. You've known each other for so long, and I'm also part of a few groups like that. And I know for
Oh,
myself, my girlfriends, they're my anchor. You know, they're the ones they've known me for so long. They've been with me through different seasons. What role does that group of friends have for you in your life?
well, I must say, are you talking about a particular group now? Which one are you talking about?
Maybe you've got a few. Just talk
I also
about
do have
your
a group, but I must say,
your what's the importance of connecting with your girlfriends for you?
I would say, like, especially the ones, there's a group coming with me from school, and we get together once a year at least. So they know me in and out. They know, we laugh, they joke about me, they know my faults, they know my biggest joys, they know where I look the funniest, or they know I always sleep. They call me like, because I do have very, very, very low iron, hashtag just saying. So they will always take pictures of me, and it will be like, go like, yo, you could be sleeping again at every little get together we have, because I'm dead meat, but it would be like 11 o'clock in the morning, or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or 8 o'clock at night in a restaurant where I can't keep my eyes open. So those photos will always do the rounds, and it's just so funny because there's like, my ins and outs. And then there's another group of friends who you share like your everything about, your family life. You can share. It's like a circle. In a circle, we can just, they're like my tribe. We can just, they're more the present group of present things going on, and your heartache, and the things you cry about, the things that makes you so quad. So I think, what is it about this? It's about, you being able to laugh at yourself. You being able to find it too hilarious. You be able to see yourself from the outside, an outside eye looking in and just laughing, and
Mm.
like kind of laughing with them. We laugh. And if you lose your joy and your laughter, it's basically, I think it's the end of the line on earth. I think you need to laugh at everything. If you start taking yourself so serious that you lose the laughter,
Mm. Mhm.
um,
Mm.
it's yes.
Mm.
So that's always fun for me to connect with that, and just, that's just who you are. And the other things are stuff that we put
Mm.
on top, and it's stuff that we keep our days busy with, and it's stuff that we put our efforts in. It's our talents, it's outside things. And we don't really, it's not really, we don't talk about that, or they don't even care about what you keep yourself busy with. It's really just the little essence of who you are, and the little thing that makes you main, and the little things that makes you special, the things that makes you Jacobi. Your girlfriends, whoever you spend time with, they see that. They love you for it. You know, you don't have to apologize for it. It's just how it is, and it's funny. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it's something, and they appreciate you for it. So they see your best and they see your worst, and you don't have to explain it always. That's those. It's those you can sit without any words. I mean, I have a amazing friend who's struggling now. She's like, she just had brain radiation for a few. She's one of my best friends, and it's hard for me to also. We laugh together. I sit there and she makes me laugh. She's like, it's an awful situation and we can't do anything about it. We are, and what can you do about it? You can just sit with each other, be with each other, and you don't have to always have an answer. If we don't have each other on our little boats to home or wherever, it will be very lonely.
Yes, and I think that that brings us back to the topic of yeah, being lonely in business and how it can be a lonely place to be in if you haven't got that support, and how being with your girlfriends provides that anchor and that connection to who you are, appreciation for who you are, regardless of what happens in the business.
Mm,
And that
mm.
laughter, that joy, that not holding things so seriously.
And that's the
Um,
thing.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah. Thanks, Jacobi. I what a this was such a joy to talk to you and to hear a bit more of your story and how you've navigated the ups and the downs, and you really ooze with creativity, and I love to see everything that you're busy doing, and looking forward to seeing what else you come up with.
Thanks for this amazing little chat, interview, whatever. You're very good at it. So it was wonderful. Thanks for listening and
Thank
asking
you.
amazing questions.
Thanks so much, Jacobi. I really appreciate it. It was lovely.
Awesome.